As we've gone throughout the rest of our Monday, not too bad out there. Pretty typical for late July. Temperatures 70s, 80s. Not a ton of humidity out there, but that's all going to be changing as we're going into the next few days. We have what's called a heat dome starting to build in. It's a big ridging area of high pressure across the country. And remember, the jet stream, that's going to ride right along that. So that's what we're starting here with. Anywhere you do see those little white arrows, as we are going throughout midweek, you start to see them moving a little bit further off to the north. And then you see this little white circle off to our south. That's the ridge itself, continuing to build throughout the country as we're going into the day on Wednesday by midweek. So this is really going to help to build in some more heat, some more humidity, especially as we are getting Wednesday into the day on Thursday. So when you combine the two, that's what's going to give you the feels like temperature, otherwise known as how it's just going to feel on your bare skin when you're outside when you factor in both. And a lot of numbers, as of right now, some of the newest data coming in suggesting we're easily going to be feeling like the 90s, if not several locations pushing close to the triple digits by the time we go not only throughout the day on Wednesday, but something also to follow as we're getting into the day on Thursday. Those do look to be the 2 days, or at least the hottest days we are expecting for this week as of right now. But at least out there for this evening, still going to be warm, not as hot as what we're expecting throughout the next few days. So if you don't like the humidity as much, enjoy the rest of your Monday, because it's going to be a fairly nice evening out there. Your fair share of some sunshine as we take you up until about midnight tonight. And even still getting into the day tomorrow, I still think there's going to be plenty of dry time, but still you do notice more of those red arrows coming in from the south. That's going to be the heat building as we are getting into the day tomorrow. So it still will be a little bit warmer as we take you throughout your Tuesday. Not as hot as what we're expecting by midweek, but still look at our sky conditions staying mostly dry. Now, later into the evening, you do start to see a few showers off to the west, areas throughout the Upper Peninsula. That's going to be the rain chance we do talk about getting into the day tomorrow by late evening, overnight. Could even talk about a few thunderstorms building in late Tuesday night. Still thinking most of our Tuesday at this point is going to remain mostly dry. Now, that better chance at least for some rain and storms going to be a little bit farther north by the time we're getting into the day on Wednesday, but that's what's going to start to build in also as we're getting into midweek. So this map, we're talking about the available moisture that we have in the atmosphere. So notice as we're going throughout midweek, what I want you to pay attention to is where you're seeing a lot of the reds and some of those oranges. It really starts to build in, especially areas throughout the Upper Peninsula. That's by the time we reach your Wednesday, and then a little bit farther south, areas throughout the lower peninsula of Michigan, that's going to be building in a little bit better once we go throughout the day on Thursday. So main takeaway from this map is just showing we're going to have more moisture to work with for rain and storm chances by the time we go into midweek, as well as that heat and humidity building. So you put it all together, and that's where your best chance for precipitation is going to reside as we are taking you throughout the next few days. Let's go ahead and get your live weather stations outside right now. Still a fairly comfortable Monday evening. Still some mid-70s right there into Mount Pleasant. Current temperature right now at 74 degrees. Light breeze coming out of the east at about 2 miles per hour. McBain also holding on to some upper 70s at this hour. Current number at 77. Southeast wind keeping you right there at about 5 miles per hour. Generally quiet as we take you past midnight tonight. Take a look at the overnight lows. There even could be a few upper 40s sneaking in. That's going to be one of the coolest nights we're going to have for the rest of the week before the heat really does start to build in as we're going throughout the next few days. So it's going to be a gradual increase in the temperatures as we're going into the day tomorrow. We'll call it warm still, eastern upper tip of the Met. Still some 70s, if not building in a few low 80s right there near Sheboygan going into the afternoon. But western lower, we're definitely going to add back a few more degrees. Plenty of 80s for you by the time we do reach the afternoon. Southerly breeze, and just remember, these are just your air temperatures when we factor in the humidity, at least for tomorrow. Several locations probably going to be feeling closer to 90 by the peak heating hours of the afternoon. Eastern lower, right there near the Lake Huron shoreline, still could hold on to a few upper 70s, low 80s as you go a little bit farther inland, but check it out right there, even into some of our central counties. It's another warm day, even hot, depending on your preference. You're still talking about your fair share of some 80s, and we're probably going to include our fair share of some 90s as we go right there, Aaron, into the next 7 days. Better chances for the rain and storms Wednesday into Thursday.